Hi, I'm Dr. Varudhini Kankipati, a counselling psychologist, and welcome to my channel. I want to spend a little bit of time today talking about if you find one of your parents, and I'm mostly referring to your mother, spending a lot of time talking to you and telling you everything that's going on in her life and all the things that are going wrong, not being able to do anything about it, and you on the receiving end feel that you're stressed with hearing what your mother has to say and you don't know how to help her. You're feeling more helpless because whatever you say, she will not do anyway. So you might start to feel very overwhelmed, and when you know you're talking to her and she starts to talk about her emotional stress, you start to feel like frustrated. You want to finish the conversation quickly and move on. If this is happening to you, then please do stick around a little bit longer for me to explain a little bit about what might be happening, why is this happening, and what you can do about it. So if you look at our culture, our Indian culture, we are taught from when we're very young that our parents are someone that we really respect. We have to look after them. It's our responsibility to look after them. It's our responsibility to keep them happy. And these are really good cultural values that we teach our children. But sometimes these values get in the way of our emotions. And let me explain to you this. So what I have noticed in my practice and also in research, in Indian families, because whatever happens in the house is predominantly a very private matter, parents do not tend to talk to the larger society, be it their friends or relatives. We try to keep our personal business private. And when that happens, a mother finds that she's very alone in trying to emotionally find someone to connect with and talk to and emotionally cathartically let it out. What normally happens is a mom chooses the older daughter to be the person that she starts to build this form of friendship and confidant and start talking about all that is going on, to the point that you might be listening to grown-up issues such as marriage problems between your father and your mom, relative problems, financial problems, things like this from your mother at as young an age as maybe 10, 11, 12. You might find that you're so overwhelmed and hurt and angry with the things that, because you feel bad for your mom, so you try and support her, you be there for her, and you then start to think about ways that you want to help her. But at that young age, you don't have the emotional capacity to deal with adult issues. You are left with feeling very helpless, and that helpless feeling can feel very, very lonely, and also feel like you don't know what to do with this lonely feeling, this helpless feeling. As time goes on, and you become a teenager, you start to give advice to your mother then. And you say, Mom, you can do this and do that. And you then realize that you keep giving her certain ways of dealing with certain things, but you realize your mom doesn't listen to you. And then you feel this sense of frustration because you're like, she's telling me her problem, I'm trying to give her some ways to deal with it, and she's not doing it. Again, you go back to feeling this sense of helplessness. Same helplessness that you felt when you were younger. Now you're a teenager. Now take the same scenario. Because she's your mother, you need to keep it going. So you go on till adulthood. And in adulthood, that's when it can start to feel very overwhelming. You don't have the time, the bandwidth to emotionally listen to what your mother's going through. But at the same time, you can't tell her, don't tell me anymore. Because why? Guilt comes in. Guilt comes in because you feel like, okay, I'm the only outlet my mom has. So I can't stop her from telling me what's going on. I'm giving her solutions, but she's not doing anything. But it's my responsibility to be there for her and constantly be there for her. And that is when it starts to be what I call as emotionally offloading that you cannot handle. And this is what we need to do. One thing is, it isn't your mother's fault because your mom feels more comfortable talking to you about it. But then you can tell your mom how it makes you feel. And if you think that your mother might not understand, you can actually take the time to explain to her that what you're trying to tell her is that you're still there for her, but there could be times when your bandwidth is not enough to be able to be the support she needs you to be. So having an open conversation with her is very helpful. And in your mind, you might be playing out a scene where, okay, if I tell my mother that, then if she gets hurt, she won't talk to me. And then if she doesn't talk to me, then who does she talk to? And then you start playing it out, then I'm be a bad daughter. That's not what I should be. She's my mom. She doesn't have anybody else. I have to be there. So the guilt comes in then. No, remember that when you're providing support to anybody, you need to be having the bandwidth to do so. And the other person needs to learn how to help both of you to understand what each other's bandwidth is, and are you able to be the right support for each other. So please go and talk to your mother. If you find that you are getting too overwhelmed with all her issues, go talk to her and tell her how you feel, that you want to be able to be there for her, but at the same time you're only able to support her to a certain degree, and that at this point, if she needs the added support, let her get some professional help to be able to talk through the issues she has. So to summarize, let's look at it from this perspective. If you are in a relationship with your mother where you feel overburdened sometimes or overwhelmed with the way her life is going, and you feel a sense of helplessness, then it is a good place for you to introspect and talk to her about it, because that's the way you have a supportive and healthy relationship that you can build. So do tell her how you're feeling, how what she's telling you is making you feel helpless, and that sometimes you need her to know how much of bandwidth you have and how much you're capable of taking that in. But that isn't to discourage her from talking to you about it. It's just to learn how to be mindful of each other's emotional availability. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, do like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any comments regarding that, please do share it, because I love to hear from you guys. So till next time, take care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.